Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast presented by FanDuel. It's Monday, June 29th, 2026. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tas Mellis.
It's free agency time.
Over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Hello. Here we are. Trey Kirby on his way back to Atlanta as we speak. I hope he stops at a Buc-ee's. I hope he stops at a Buc-ee's. Hello to everybody joining us live on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. There's actually something else you need to do if you're joining us on YouTube live. You got to keep us up to date on Shams notifications. We'll try our best while we're actually doing a show, but this guy's dropping things left and right.
They're dropping.
A lot of player options being picked up or declined, and we'll get into those later.
And players being indicted on federal charges.
Geez, yes.
We'll get to those too.
We'll also talk about the Hornets trading some guy to the Phoenix Suns. The Thunder, they made some moves over the weekend, and we got a bunch of other transactions. But first, Tas, NBA trade rumors are at an all-time high right now. So let's feed the piggies and bring back the slop scale. Yeah! Farmer Tas and Farmer Skeets here.
Trey should stop at a Buc-ee's, but he should also just stop at a farm, see if the pigs are out. I saw
right.
a piggy at a farm here in Georgia yesterday. Piggy's fourth smartest animal, I've heard.
Oh, well, they know a lot about trade rumors, that's for sure. So we are going to weigh in on the latest NBA trade rumors using the slop scale. If this is your first time joining us here on No Dunks, the heavier, the juicier, the sloppier the NBA trade rumor, the more buckets of slop we assign to it.
Right.
All right. So 5 buckets of slop, very exciting. You're very into said trade rumor. Maybe you buy it for all I know. 1 bucket of slop, and you're like, come on, maybe this is old news. This is nothing, whatever. It's however you want to interpret it.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, let's get into it. First one
Let's
here.
do it.
The Blazers are still exploring the idea of trading for Jaylen Brown with free agency on the horizon. In fact, Stein and Fisher, our slop kings, report that Portland is aggressively pursuing Brown, a player they have coveted since Dame's first tenure with the franchise. Now, there are a lot of angles we can go with Jaylen Brown here, and we'll get to the whole analytics part as well. He was angry on Twitter this weekend. But the Trailblazers aggressively pursuing Jaylen Brown. How many buckets of slop?
I'm giving it 2 buckets of slop because I don't think these two teams see eye to eye on the package.
Okay.
Now, I understand Portland's going to go after them, but Boston wants to win now, so that would mean that Portland's going to give up a good player. I don't know if Portland is willing to do that. Mm-hmm. I went through the packages that Boston would actually accept and actually work. Thanks, Spot Track, for this. Mm-hmm. So these are the levels here. Denny Avdia and Drew Holiday, that would be a package that Boston would accept, but Denny Avdia is not being traded from the Portland Trailblazers according to rumors, and I totally believe that.
He's off the table.
Yeah. And then here's a second level of package that I do believe Boston would accept. Donovan Clingan, along with Drew and Scoot Henderson. That would work for Jaylen Brown, just straight up, no picks. But apparently the Blazers don't want to include Donovan Clingan.
Right.
I believe that as well.
Okay.
Tom Dundon's got a new team. I think that would make sense. Now Boston would come back and say, okay. How about let's lower it a little bit. How about Clingan, Jeremy Grant, and Scoot Henderson? And then still, I think the Blazers say no. Then we get to another level that we can start talking about, I think, on both sides. Jeremy Grant, Scoot Henderson, and Tamani Kamara. Maybe there's the pick swaps that they own for the Milwaukee Bucks, which are juicy. In 29 and 30, you can basically get the Bucks trade or the Bucks draft pick. That's where I think we're talking about a trade, but I just don't know if the Celtics are willing to go that low. You go back and you look at Jaylen Brown's rumors over the years, it's always for a really good player.
Right.
We're talking cream of the crop. It's Kevin Durant, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. So when we're talking about the Blazers, Denny is the start. They're going to say no to that. Then we get into the Clingan talk along with some other parts because the money has to work. I just don't see it working. Now, the Blazers are going to be talking. It's Jaylen Brown. I understand that. But I don't know what the Blazers come in and do here. I think they're trying to find a good deal. Tom Dundon made his money off subprime auto loans, and the Celtics got too good a credit for that. So I think the bargaining may happen here, but You think they're doing it? I think the picks obviously is a part of it.
Oh, I think the picks is a huge part of it. I think any deal with Portland is centered around draft capital.
But what about players? It's got to be
well, there's players here. There's young prospects, as you went through. Klingon would be the big holdup. I mean, the Celtics are going to ask for him.
Yeah.
Whether the Blazers are like, oh, we sort of thought he's our center of the future here. We'd love to hold on to him. But there's Scoot Henderson. There's Shaedon Sharpe. Tumani Kamara. There's like good younger players here. In addition to all this draft capital, they have all their own first round picks. They have unprotected picks from the Bucks, Magic, and Celtics, and they also have valuable pick swaps from the Bucks in 28 and 30. So you can put together a lot of draft capital to sort of take a stab here at Jaylen Brown. If I'm the Blazers, I'm probably trading, let's say, 3 first round picks. Again, some of them not yours. Grant, because of his contract for salary matching purposes, $34 million. And let's say Shaedon Sharpe. I'd do that in a nanosecond, right? Instantly,
right?
If I'm Portland,
yeah,
for Jaylen Brown. But am I having more of a conversation if it's 3 first round picks? It's Grant, it's Sharpe, it's Klingon for Jaylen Brown and like Cater or something like that, or whoever else has to come back. Yeah, okay, then I'm probably still doing it.
You're getting rid of Klingon is sort of the hang up with the players wise. I think that's what it comes down to, because it's a lot of money for Jaylen Brown. So you have to have a big contract going back the other way. And basically it kind of centers, money wise, it centers around either Jeremy Grant or Drew Holiday. And then the key part player wise is Donovan Klingon to throw along with that player, because the Celtics, why I lack in slops here is that they need to win. This whole Jaylen Brown, incredible player, top 6 in MVP voting, is not just going to be thrown away for some good picks down the road, in my opinion. There needs to be a really, really, really good player. And it's not Jeremy Grant. It's not Scoot Henderson. It's not Shaedon Sharpe, in my opinion. Donovan Klingon can be the hang-up as long as those are juicy picks behind him, because, as I said, they've only wanted to trade for top 50 players of all time, or top 20 players of all time, I should say, in Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You don't think Jeremy Grant is that?
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, if it's Grant, Sharpe, and Tumani Kamara, or more likely Grant, Scoot, and Tumani Kamara, I don't think it happens for the Boston Celtics.
Well, it's just how desperately they want out of, or whether how desperately they want out of the Jaylen Brown business, or Jaylen Brown wants out of the Boston Celtics business at this point.
Yeah,
that's sort of what we got into here.
I don't think Jaylen wants out, but hey, that's
I just disagree 100% with that. But we'll see. Michael Scotto says Brown has drawn trade interest from various teams here across the league, as some of us expected. I mean, if this guy is on the trade block, there'd be so many teams lining up for him. The Blazers, obviously, the Raptors. I mean, they're sort of linked to every bigger name here right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Nuggets, I'd like to dissect with you. The Nets, the Hornets, the Hawks, the Clippers. There's been a ton of teams here. Again, that's Scotto Slop with Jaylen Brown.
Scotto Sloppo.
Bill Simmons, I heard with Zach Lowe yesterday, I guess, or last night, saying Celtics, Nuggets, Jaylen Brown to Denver.
Yeah, that one's good.
Let's say Jamal Murray and Cam Johnson for Jaylen Brown and Sam Hauser.
Yeah, I do think this.
So you like that one more, it sounds like, from both sides?
Well, I think the Celtics need a player desperately. I don't think this is just about picks. I think Brad Stevens is here to win. And so Jamal Murray coming back, we're talking about a Jamal Murray and Derek White backcourt with Tatum and the guys that they've still retained, the Shireman beside him, that type of thing. Depending on what the Blazers are willing to do, I think that makes a lot of sense on both sides, and that the Nuggets may want to just mix it up. But the Nuggets have a huge job to do in bringing Peyton Watson back, and so that may change things with Jaylen Brown because they're going to pay a lot for Peyton Watson. But the Nuggets may want to switch it up as well.
Aaron Gordon's name is on the trade block here as well. Maybe he's involved in some sort of trade.
Yeah, older, getting hurt unfortunately the last couple seasons with the hamstring. So I wonder what the Celtics are thinking about that.
And we've talked before about the Nuggets, like, okay, maybe it's Aaron Gordon, but it's more likely they're trying to move Cam Johnson, or they're trying to move Christian Brown, who obviously signed that big deal. Yeah,
that would be tough to
do. Maybe you get to the point where you have to trade a player of Jamal Murray's quality to get obviously a good player in Jaylen Brown. But man, would that change the Nuggets and how they play?
Yeah.
The Nuggets are Jamal Murray and Jokic pick and roll. Like now that's just a completely different offense. This was one of the best offenses we've seen in the NBA when they're healthy and out there on the floor.
And Jamal Murray's coming off his best regular season of his career.
I know.
As his
so
first
this would be
time
one
All-Star.
hell of a switch up, and you start going, what's going on with all these teams? Everyone's like, the Minnesota Timberwolves have made a big move. Other squads are like really shaking things up here. It's like, is it a bit of keeping up with the Joneses if this is to go down? Portland makes more sense in like, wow, that's a top, wherever you have Jaylen Brown. Is he top 10, top 15, wherever? That's a talented player. You got Dame coming back. You other have young guys. It's like, makes sort of more sense. Like, you're like, all right, we have an ability to get this guy. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
Denver is more of a swap of good players.
Yeah.
Right?
And Portland's got a variety of picks, like their own, far down the road, but the Milwaukee Bucks picks.
Yeah.
So
they could do it with draft capital.
Yeah.
So if that's high on Brad Stevens and the Celtics like wish list for Jaylen Brown, then they're one of the few teams that realistically could put together a lot of draft capital for him. In the 3, 4, 5 first round picks type of things. 5, I don't think we're seeing that anymore, but you know what I mean. 3 or 4.
So why do you think Jaylen Brown hates the idea of going back to Boston, or doesn't like the idea of going back to Boston?
Well, because they've put his name in trade rumors. And it was for Giannis. And you can say as much as you want, it's for Giannis, man. It's not disrespectful. And I hear you. I get that. But he also, and we've gone over this a million times already, it's like he feels disrespected. And then I don't think all this stuff that happened over the weekend helps at all. And that's no fault of the Celtics, unless it was their analytics guy, their anonymous analytics guy that said he was the 7th best player on a team, which I doubt it was. But I just think he feels slighted here, this idea of a refresh. Here's the other way to look at this. I saw Sam from Ball write about this over the weekend. I shared it, and I thought it was a good point. Maybe what happened last year is that Boston expected to be a mediocre team with no Tatum. And then suddenly, they're just as surprised as everybody else that they're like a 2nd, 3rd seed there in the Eastern Conference. Very, very good. Led by Jaylen Brown. But think about what they did at the trade deadline, the Celtics last year. They did next to nothing. They traded Simons for Vooch. Now, okay, yeah, was it trying to balance the roster a little bit? Maybe you were going to get something from the big position from Vooch, which he didn't ultimately give them. Point is, they were like looking at this like it was more of like get under the tax type move. Not a lot of belief in the team, even with Jason Tatum coming back. So the thinking is here, like they maybe have been like getting to this sort of point of splitting up the Jays and getting off of Jaylen Brown and sticking with Tatum and switching things up for a while now. Not just what's happened here and not just the Twitch stream and all that. Like it's sort of been like they've been sort of moving towards this idea. I think that's possible. Who knows? Yeah.
The trade deadline, I don't know if there's options to get better. I mean, they did a good job of getting cheaper by trading away Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know if they really had the assets to go say, hey, we're getting better and Jason Tatum's coming back.
Fair.
So I don't think that really played a factor. I just think Jaylen Brown likes to talk. He's a vocal person. He likes to be himself. And we're seeing a lot of that. And people are saying, okay, that must mean that he doesn't want to be in Boston. They seem to back him other than a couple trade rumors over the years. They've stuck with him. I want to see what happens. If whatever the conversations are behind doors, is he saying, I don't want to be here? I guess that's possible. But to me, I just think he likes to talk. He likes to express himself. And that's cool. And so we shall see.
We shall see. Let's slip this in here while we're talking about Jaylen Brown. So during a recent radio interview, ESPN's Bobby Marks said front offices across the NBA have mixed feelings about Jaylen Brown and suggested that at least one analytics employee, an anonymous person here, viewed Jaylen Brown as like the 7th best player on a given team. Jaylen Brown, he likes to talk and he likes to tweet as well, Tas. He fired back at that notion on Saturday. He tweeted, among other things, quote, analytics nowadays used to discredit and control narratives. Roll the ball out. None of these guys are better than me on both ends. And he also tweeted, nobody has won more combined regular season and playoff games since I entered the league 10 years ago. True fact. And he added, analytics are ruining the game. We play in AI hoops. And let me tell you, Tas, I don't know how online you were this weekend, but this anonymous random analytics guy sparked quite the conversation on Twitter about, analytics in basketball and him pushing back, I guess, against this idea. Any thoughts on any of this?
Yeah, this random analytics person who said something to Bobby Marks, who Bobby Marks then later came on and defended himself on Twitter and said,
I listened to the whole clip, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, which he was. Sorry to jump in there.
No, what you're about to say is that Bobby said, listen, he was having a good time talking on radio and relaying something that he heard. But what was lifted from that clip was one little thing, and what wasn't lifted is that, of course, I want you on my team, as Bobby Marks said. You're 191 and 80 over the last 4 years, record-wise. Top 10 player. And, of course, you're going to help win a championship. But that part didn't make it.
Yeah.
But that's the media in 2026, as Bobby Marks said. The juice of the lemon is that dumb, that one comment where Bobby is just saying, hey, behind the scenes, that's what someone said to me. Is he the 7th best player on any team? I mean, you put 2 all-star teams out there, and he's
on Team USA, maybe.
And yeah, maybe,
maybe he's
depending on what team you kind of run out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why this was hilarious and dumb, and like I almost wondered if like Bobby Marks was just. I don't think he's lying, but like just exaggerating a little too much here on the radio. Like, really? 7th best? Somebody said that?
Because he's a pretty efficient player. It's not like he was efficient, even though he shot the most 2s in the NBA this past season per game.
Well, people like to point out that the Celtics were better when Jaylen Brown was off the floor this year.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess that means they're just better without him.
Sure.
Maybe that's why they're trading him, Tas. Maybe that's the real reasoning here.
His game looks good.
It was very silly, this
His game's looking good in the offseason in China. Watch the clip. He's in China.
He's in France, baby.
France.
Yeah.
Man, getting them all confused. Who's in China? Anyways, he was playing one-on-one.
Kyrie,
He looked good. Well, Jaylen Brown's balling. He's looking good. Looking like at least the 6th best player on the team.
So before we move on, you got this at 2 buckets of Slop, and it sounds like you still believe that they can run this back, and Brown could be a part of this.
Absolutely, they can run this back. Now, if they're sold by Tom Dundon and Joe Cronin over there, and they think about it, sure. If you're gonna overwhelm us with a package to get a guy who's under contract, that's a part of it for the Blazers. Tom Dundon comes and purchases this team. I don't think he's going to get Kawhi Leonard for a year, who's not signing an extension with the Portland Trail Blazers, highly unlikely. So yeah, that's part of it. If they can overwhelm and basically keep those 2 lanes going, like the current championship type of team with the Celtics, and then a future with the Celtics with draft picks and all that, like as the Warriors were trying to do forever. Yeah, of course, Brad Stevens would be smart to think about that.
Well, you brought up Kawhi, so let's go to him here. He is drawing interest from several teams. According to The Athletic, the Mavericks and Clippers have discussed a deal that would send the 7-time All-Star to Dallas for a package that would include PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, and draft picks. Another possible reunion would see Kawhi returning to Toronto.
Yes.
Jake Fisher says the Raps would prefer to include Brandon Ingram rather than RJ Barrett in any Kawhi deal. So we're lumping these two together, these 2 reports here. Tas, Kawhi drawing interest from the Mavs and the Raptors in trade discussions. How many buckets of Slop?
Give me 3 buckets of Slop.
Okay.
I've been listening to all Kawhi interviews, and if there's anyone who actually conveys what's going on inside that head, I think it is Kawhi a little bit, because he doesn't talk much. And when he does talk with about the Los Angeles Clippers and their future, he talks about Garland coming into a role. But even then, he's not super convinced that this team is going to be good. Is this team going to be good? Him, Garland, after trading Zubats, it's highly unlikely that they're going to be good. He's got 1 year left. I think the Toronto Raptors lead the way here as far as packages that can go back.
Okay.
When we're talking about Toronto versus Dallas, even versus San Antonio, San Antonio I don't think has the desire to give them the best package possible. I just don't think the Kawhi, Wemby, those 2 paths don't coincide. Kawhi is old. But I do think the Raptors, who have said it's nice that we had this run here where we gave a good run in a first-round series against the Cleveland Cavaliers, but we need to get better. Bobby Webster has said that, and it could be via trade. And the front office, I think, they would fulfill that, exactly what Bobby Webster said. So ideally, yeah, it's Ingram and probably, the numbers work with Pirtle plus a pick. Ideally for the Raptors. They'd rather have Ingram go out than RJ Barrett. I think that's clear to see what happened in the postseason.
Yeah.
If they gotta up it, it would be Barrett. Unfortunately for the Toronto Raptors, plus Pirtle, plus a pick for a Kawhi, who would be signing an extension with Toronto. I think that rumor is legitimate. The only teams that Kawhi would sign an extension with, the Toronto Raptors and the San Antonio Spurs. And I think the Toronto Raptors would beat the Spurs just because of the path that they're on. I don't think the Spurs wouldn't do it. I just don't think that they would do it. Old Kawhi.
He'd be awesome on that team, though. It's like sort of exactly what they could use. But
yeah, I just find it odd.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong. Do they go, because he's in his mid-30s, how much more does he have
He's
left?
35 years old today.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, Kawhi.
Wow.
I got you a tree. That is a part of this. I have this at 2 buckets of slop. Last I checked, we still have an investigation going on into the allegations that the Clippers circumvented the salary cap to pay Kawhi extra money, right? We never got an answer on that. We're still waiting on that.
Yeah. I was waiting.
Sort of fascinating that he could be traded, let's say, before that's resolved. No?
I personally think when they hit the Clippers with a fee, draft picks, whatever penalty it is, it's the Clippers and it's not Kawhi.
Yeah, okay.
So it doesn't matter. I don't think
You
so.
put it that way. It's still a little odd to me, but
it's odd.
okay, fair. And is it even happening? I mean, we already had the draft, so they didn't get dinged on that draft, obviously.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's taken this long.
So you like this for the Raptors, though. You would do this.
Yeah, ideally it's Brandon Ingram over RJ Barrett as the primary part. If it is Barrett and Pirtle, which money-wise makes sense, they are super thin up at center. Even though Cullen Murray-Boyles was an awesome backup center, they would need to solidify that. And it's not Sandro Mamukelashvili, who may or may not be back.
Right.
It's somebody else. So yeah, I think that makes more sense than the Spurs, whatever it's at Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, and picks. I think that makes more sense. Yeah, I think I would do it. I'd say, hey, Kawhi, come on back.
Wow.
Yeah. They do need to take another step up. We saw the limit they have offensively, even though it was a 7-game series. It was an ugly one. They need to they need to have a number one option. It is scary that he's 35 today, no doubt, but he had a healthy season.
Yeah, and he hasn't played 70-plus games in over a decade.
Yeah. So that's the thing. How much are you giving up? And I think the Raptors don't want to give up a lot, but they may be bidding against themselves. I don't know. I don't know what other teams are.
Well, I mean, the reports say Masai Ujiri versus Bobby Webster. Ujiri with the Mavs, and obviously Bobby Webster in control of the Raptors now, which is very funny if this is true.
The sensei and the student.
You don't seem all that impressed with a PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, and then the minimal draft capital that even the Mavs have. They don't have a lot of their draft future. They owe their 27 first-round pick to the Hornets unless it falls into the top 2. And they have zero control of their 29 first-round pick. And their 28 and 30 first-rounders are tied up in pick swaps. Like,
you don't sound convinced. I'm not.
No, it's not a very good trade return.
Yeah. You can start to talk yourself into guys that are down on the roster because Derek Lively has been injured. Maybe he's part of the pushback or the package back, but doesn't do it for me. I think the Raptors have all their picks. So I feel like they're kind of bidding against themselves. Maybe I'm wrong. The Spurs have a ton. Their draft picks that they just made, they have a ton to trade. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Buford says, all right, let's bring him back for
It's crazy.
What the thing is, I feel like Wemby and that team is more like the Thunder. Let's long play it. Let's just go back with what we have. We were winning in 74% of the minutes in the NBA Finals, and we're going to switch it up like that. I think we just got to grow internally. I think that makes more sense.
Yeah, but what I love about him going to the Spurs is it's more reminiscent to me of him going and getting traded to the Raptors the first time in 2019, where it's like they were an elite team. The Raptors were really good and then added Kawhi to level up. He only played 60 games that regular season. It didn't matter. They were still awesome without him out there. They were a veteran team. Now that's different, obviously, than the Spurs. They're a young team. He'd be the vet guy coming in here. But the idea is like, hey, man, we just need you in the playoffs. Just like you could slow play them. You don't need to have heavy minutes on them. And then it's just for the playoff series.
I see what you're saying.
Get us a bucket. We saw it work.
Yeah. He came and joined
6 years ago.
Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry, and it was a good team. But they weren't as good as the Spurs were this past season.
No,
they got
there
to
you go.
But the Spurs were so close. The Raptors never smelled an NBA Finals. Yeah. They were damn close. So I don't know. They'd have to give up some pieces too. I mean, it's not like, hey, it's a free agent that would just come in and join us and then would disappear for a year. Or after a year, I should say. So I think the Raptors are bidding against themselves if Kawhi doesn't want to be in LA anymore. Because
that's the real part here.
Yeah. Does he still want to stay his hometown? Maybe not.
This made me laugh. Trill Bro Dude tweeted yesterday, sarcastically, which definitely went over some people's heads. Quote, I can't imagine Kawhi getting traded to the Raptors with 1 year left on his deal. What would they even trade? A ceiling capping mid-range heavy wing scorer, Jakob Poeltl, and a pick? That is a very good tweet because that's exactly what they traded the first time back in 2019. Obviously, Brandon Ingram would be instead of DeMar DeRozan. Poeltl, yes, was the same piece, and then the pick. Pretty funny.
And very hilarious.
That they could just do it again. Problem is, they're on an upward trajectory here, but they are, again, the Raptors where they are now currently constructed is just not like that team. Exactly. Yeah. Which is a huge difference. And that was and here's a big difference too. Now he's older, so I get that. But Kawhi at that time, that was like injured Kawhi, frustration with the Spurs front office, how they were managing him and all that. Like it was like you were buying low.
Yeah.
He's coming off one of his best seasons he's ever had. I mean, the statistical output he just had is unreal. He was second team All NBA. He's very, very good last year.
So why aren't there juicy rumors out there other than this? Like
he's 35, 1.
Yeah.
He never plays a full season, 2.
But
he has the power of like this idea of the contract extension, like Giannis did, where he's like there's been a lot of talk of like Detroit Pistons could use him.
Of course.
And he's like, I'm not going to sign with you.
I'm not signing.
So then you're not trading anything. It'd be silly to do that.
I'm only signing an extension, according to Shams reports, with Toronto and the Spurs. 2 teams. So that's a big part of it in comparison to Jaylen Brown, who signed for a long time.
Yeah. Next one here. Appearing on ESPN Radio late last week, Brian Windhorst described Ja Morant as flagrantly available in trade talks. That's how Windy put it. So the Grizzlies are determined to move Ja Morant, who Windhorst says he can't see playing for the organization ever again. And this echoes a lot of sentiments from other reporters too. Like we are not going to see Ja Morant in a Grizzlies uniform again. But how many buckets of slop does Tas Melis put on Ja Morant flagrantly available?
Fill up the buckets, all of them. I think it's 5. I think it's time. This is a different team. This is a Cam Boozer, Cedric Coward, now Isaiah Stewart in the lineup. They are looking to have a different identity. And starting with those guys, and I think you'll see at the point guard spot, along with Scottie Pippen Jr., Walter Clayton, to give them a shot. I think this is definitely the time, I should say, it's ready to get rid of them. I love that.
Who is the question?
Yeah, it is. I love
who.
Yeah,
this is the problem.
Well, what about it's a reach now after getting Antetokounmpo, but the Miami Heat sort of makes sense. It's a reach, for sure. But when they need a point guard, you specifically thought, I guess this was 4 or 5 months ago, Ja Morant just needs a new place.
Yeah.
And Miami was at that time, when they were looking for a star, the team. So the rumored package would be Ja Morant going to Miami with the possibility of them having to throw in a draft pick to get off of Ja Morant. For, just straight up money-wise, it would work with Andrew Wiggins when he opts in today, because we're waiting for the deadline for player options. Andrew Wiggins has a player option. Don't worry, I checked. He hasn't opted in yet. Good. And Davion Mitchell. So it's Wiggins and Mitchell for Morant and a pick. Do you start to look at the Miami Heat and say, okay, I think that Ja Morant can excel in that organization?
I think I would do it if I'm them. And I'm 80-year-old Pat Riley for sure. Because your whole thing is obviously trying to take, big swings at big talent. And he's being sold very low to the point where you might have to attach a draft pick. That sounds insane to me still, but I get it, just to get off him if you're Memphis. Big part is the Wiggins player option. TBD still on that, but yeah, I would be doing that because I'm not ready to give up on John Morant.
Yeah.
I'm on record saying that. And I don't love the shooting that you'd have on the Miami team because there wouldn't be a lot of
problem.
Because you've got Giannis and Bam. We already got to figure out that problem. Now you got a point guard that is not a high volume 3-point shooter.
And they just don't have any depth.
Yeah.
So even trading guys like Davion Mitchell, who's their starting point guard and would be great defensively along with Wiggins, and that's two pieces.
Yeah.
And so that is a worry. I've scoured to see my spot track trade machine. Who else would be able to take on John Morant? Ain't a lot of options out there.
No, because you look around the rest of the league. Yeah, it's like how many need a starting point guard? I mean, some did, but then they had the draft, and a lot of them had picks that were high enough to take a point guard that you would think is their point guard of the future. The Kings just drafted Acuff. The Hawks drafted our guy Kingston Flemings. The Nets drafted Michael Brown Jr. It's like you start running out of teams that like could realistically use John Morant just at the position. I mean, what about the Raptors, to go back to them? And they are rumored to be interested. I mean, Bobby Webster's got his name in every hat here. Quickly is their point guard. Would you like John Morant? That's another team that needs shooting though. And this is where he does not flourish.
Yeah, what's the package coming back from the Raptors? I think that's another fair question. With as I mentioned, those names for the Grizzlies, taking them to a new era. Boozer and Cedric Cower, now Isaiah Stewart, and they still have Aldama. I don't know what they would get back from the Raptors, to be honest. Why would they take quickly? They wouldn't. I don't think the Grizzlies would take quickly at this time. It's not a great contract right now, unfortunately. Quick's got to get back with a good team, like have a Kawhi out there. We'll see how good he looks with Kawhi. But this Miami Heat one seems to make the most sense. But maybe there's a third team involved as well, so the Heat don't have to give up two pieces.
Well, I was just going to say that. Now, I don't have the Heat in this 3-team deal, but to go back to the Jaylen Brown of it all, going to Portland, you could get to like a 3-team sort of package where Jaylen Brown goes to Portland, Jeremy Grant, and then some young guys, be it Scoot Henderson or something like that, to Memphis, John Morant, Hendricks, and then a bunch of draft capital to Boston. Now, that's John Morant going to the Boston Celtics. Now, you might roll your eyes at that, may not love that. I mean, he does, when healthy, obviously can put pressure on a rim and get into the paint. Again, he's not a great 3-point shooter, but he does do the other things. So, I don't know. That's one framework I saw of a 3-team deal.
Yeah, I saw that too. Wasn't super excited about that because also John Morant is great when he plays. He doesn't play a lot, unfortunately, recently. He only played 20 games this season, and I know they kept him out for some time because they said, okay, what's the point? We may not want you back in that locker room, but he gets injured. And so I don't know if the Celtics would be wanting to do that because they also want Tatum and Peyton Pritchard when he's out there and Derek White to some degree and Jaylen Brown if he comes back handling the ball, and Shaw can't be part of that. So I don't know. I don't see that. I saw that and that didn't get excited me either. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, this is crazy. I'm just thinking back, like, I don't know when it was, months ago for sure, but like we would have debates about rank them or like who do you think's the best of John Morant, Trae Young, and LaMelo Ball. Remember doing this?
Yeah.
And and when John Morant is eventually traded here, because I do believe he is going to be moved, all three guys having been dealt like within a calendar year there, with Trae Young last year, and then obviously LaMelo Ball recently, and now John Morant. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Just all three teams electing to move off them.
Yeah, and if I'm remembering correctly, I thought it was Trae as the best player of the three, and he just got paid. I mean, when you look at that, we were talking about which one would you rather have? Well, the guy who got paid was Trae Young with a monstrous contract, which was surprising.
According to Jake Fisher of the Steinline, the Pelicans are still listening to offers for Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. However, New Orleans isn't actively shopping them, and they've rejected every offer to date, okay? Teams are calling them. They're picking it up, and they are listening, but they're not saying much, and then they're just hanging up. Additionally, the Pelicans' asking price for Murphy is reportedly 3 first-round picks. Slop scale on the Pelicans seeking multiple first-round picks for Trey Murphy III.
Multiple? I think this is high. I'm giving it 4 buckets of slop. Now, 3 picks, that's a lot, but Trey Murphy's a great player. I don't think it happens right now. I think they're still going to give it one more chance here to start the season, and then when it falls apart, like it will. Zion, you fooled me last year. This year, I'm not going into the season thinking that you're going to do it. You still might lose 3 of your first 6 games by 30-plus points like you did last year. After it falls apart, then I do believe Trey Murphy becomes available because he's their best asset. You mentioned Herb Jones wouldn't get as much back. No. There's a Dejounte Murray in there still. There's Jordan Poole in his expiring deal. There's a Zion. But I think this guy would be the one to get you more picks, and then you start the rebuild with Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears. Sadiq Bey can get an extension this offseason. Interesting stuff. Even if they signs that, I think Trey Murphy's the guy. So multiple picks. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, KOC says multiple teams have put 2 first-round picks on the table for Murphy. But Pelicans GM Joe Dumars is pushing for 3 firsts at least in any discussion. They're just like, keep doing this thing. Like Trey Murphy III's been in trade rumors for a long time now. And they keep just doing this thing. Like, if you wow us, if you come over the top, then maybe we'll deal him. Because I remember Stein reporting back in January that the Pelicans wanted the Desmond Bane type offer that took, 4 first-round picks and a pick swap. So Trey Murphy III can be had, but it's just would cost you a ton of draft capital. Now, I do wonder, did the NBA's new lottery reform here change the value of first-round picks? Like, that's the big sort of like, I'm not sure. Because one thought is that general managers are likely to prize their own draft capital even more, given like the wide variance to where those selections could land. But I guess you could flip that on its head and say the opposite could be true too, right? It's because of the wide variance. It's like, we're more likely to sort of not willy-nilly throw them around, but like to go get good players for sure, like Trey Murphy III. Maybe you are. I don't know. Yeah. It's sort of like we're going to have to wait and see, I think, a little bit. But
I hear you. Yeah, it is a little bit of a wait and see. But I do think the Golden State Warriors, now we'll get to Draymond Green, his decision on a player option, will be willing to be willy-nilly and deal the picks that they still have for a Trey Murphy. So finally, support Steph with a guy who can shoot beside him. They need it. And so those picks, I did my little trade machine. They can work. But I think right now Joe Dumars in that front office, they're going to give it a shot here one more time.
With Jamal Mosley as a new head coach as well. So you've got that angle. That's see what he can get out of these guys.
Yeah, and maybe DeJounte Murray being there at the beginning of the year, unlike last year when he came back from injury mid-season or so. Maybe that's a different beast, maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, let's just get this Draymond news in here because there's a lot of rumors of what the Warriors are maybe trying to do here too. Draymond Green is declining his $27.7 million player option to become a free agent. And Shams says this move gives the Warriors flexibility here to try and pursue LeBron James to pair up with Steph Curry or I guess the idea of maybe trading for Anthony Davis. And also KOC was writing about this over the weekend here at Tas. So the Warriors, I guess, trying to put together a big 4. That's what they're going for here. I mean, if we were throwing on buckets of slop on this, what does Tas Melis do here? 1 bucket or 5 or somewhere in between?
Well, which part? There's so many.
I know.
There's so many troughs to fill. I mean, it's Anthony Davis and it's LeBron. One or the other. It's pretty high for LeBron.
Okay.
5. They want him. And I still think that there's a very good chance that he goes and takes less money and or just leaves Los Angeles for Golden State or Cleveland. So that one's high. The Anthony Davis one, that's different. I mean, that's a guy who's under contract. LeBron's a free agent. So the guy. So
they're trading Jimmy Butler in this scenario?
That's the weird one.
Right?
Yeah. Off to Spot Track I go. It feels, I don't know. Well, they have nothing else.
I mean, what's Bojemski make?
He currently makes $5.679 million.
Right. I mean, he's going to get paid a little bit more eventually.
I think they can extend him if I'm not. You can sign a qualifying offer at 8.66. They can sign him to another contract, I guess. Could be a sign and trade to get But do they have the parts? Do they have the pieces?
Steph, Draymond, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. Where's that finishing in the Western Conference?
Yeah, it sucks because they're old, and they bring back Al Horford, and apparently they want to bring back Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some young guys on that team, but where are they finishing? Man, that's sheesh. Can they finish top 4? Am I missing something?
I mean, that would be great.
Yeah, it would be great.
This is insane. This sounds insane, but the NBA is so crazy that
the weird thing is
happen.
the Anthony Davis part, making 58 this year, and then 62 the next year as a player option. That's a lot. The money wise. So you're trading Jimmy?
I think you have to.
Steph, Dre, Bron, and Anthony Davis.
Because when is Jimmy even like scheduled to be back? Like he's not at the start of the season.
No.
Is he even? Yeah, I mean, maybe later. Is it going to be like a Tatum situation? Is that what we're sort of looking at?
Yeah, I didn't think it was
hoping.
Yeah,
maybe not that late.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long. But.
All right, we'll wait on this one. We'll have a show, of course, tomorrow too. We plan on doing a free agency special right around the deadline, which is 6 p.m. Eastern. So we'll probably go live around 5:30 or so. We did that last year. It worked out pretty well. So
it did.
We'll do that, but we'll just for now, the LeBron and the AD and the Warriors of it all, we'll just set to the side. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll get into the Suns-Hornets trade and many of the other transactions.
With FanDuel, use Stackio the dollars with your bet and with his substitute. If you bet on Stephen, use Stackio to score. Shout out to Stackio scoring for Canada. And Ali Ahmed comes in for him. Your bet stands because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore with FanDuel's Super Sub. If your player subbed out, your bet stays in. Didn't even mention Canada going to the quarterfinal or the round of 16. It's not the quarterfinals.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, man, it sure feels
We're
that
gonna
way.
shock the world and beat Netherlands or Morocco.
Netherlands, Morocco. When do they kick off today?
I think so.
3? Anyways, it's coming. Anyway, visit FanDuel.com to get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.
Let there be at least one goal for Canada. That's all it took.
Late.
Extra time.
Whew.
It wasn't the prettiest soccer game I've ever watched. I'll be honest. Even as a diehard Canadian football fan, it was, they outplayed them. I think it was a deserved win.
Yeah, I agree.
But it just wasn't the sexiest game.
No. Even the goal, not to disrespect.
The goal was okay.
It was all right. It was a giveaway.
Well,
I didn't like a giveaway.
No.
Directly to Eustachio.
I was sort of dreading, though, 30 more minutes of that. Those two teams, because they were looking like they were exhausted by the end, too, and there was not a lot going on. So
yeah, but penalty kicks, World Cup penalty kicks, like even if you get.
Didn't want that. Ugh.
I don't know, people like that. I like that.
Have you heard the crazy idea about that, by the way?
What?
Because they say once it does get to extra time, like the teams do sort of like, nobody wants to make a mistake.
Yeah.
So they play fairly reserved.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of just 30 minutes of extra soccer played and not a lot of like goals scored.
Sure.
I'm sure like the statistics back it up. But people say you end regulation. It's obviously a tie. You then go right to penalty kicks. Okay? Hear me out. Then whoever wins said penalty kicks is up a goal in the extra time. So it puts the pressure on the team that is trailing to go balls to the wall to try and obviously tie it back up. Now, I don't know what happens when they just tie it back up again. What do we do again? Just go back to penalty kicks? I'm not sure.
Sounds
but we
fun.
were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, extra time definitely sounds more fun
Isn't that crazy?
way.
Yeah, I know. But also be very weird.
Yeah, what you do after that. But hell, it's better. I do. Yeah, there's a little bit of a prevent offense they play, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, I knew Canada was winning yesterday because we had my buddy, your buddy, our buddy Grish in attendance in SoFi.
Wow.
Matty Austin, Matty O himself in the building.
Really?
John, the phenomenon. And then, when I really knew we were winning, Ben Golliver sent me a photo in the building, rocking the Canada kit. Honorary Canadian Ben Golliver for the day. I was like, we're winning.
What a shock.
We got those four in attendance?
Who's the most shocking that would be there? I think it's Matty Austin.
Yeah. I mean, Grish and John were in LA, met up for dinner. Dave, he's like, oh, we got to get tickets.
Uh-huh.
So they got Matty O to go. Yeah.
Oh, so he didn't he didn't actually go seek tickets. He's just like,
Well, I don't know. He paid
got an
for
extra
it.
ticket.
No, he
did?
paid for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He paid for it.
Cool.
It was still a pretty penny to get
I'm
into
sure
the
it
building.
was.
They were up top, but that
That's
looks like a
awesome.
beautiful stadium too.
That's awesome. Yeah. I like the low angle shots after the game where you see the
Oh,
roof.
it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, let's get to this trade. On Sunday, the Charlotte Hornets agreed to trade Miles Bridges, a 2029 first-round pick, and a 2027 second-round pick to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a 2033 first-round pick. Tas, your reaction to this one? Bridges going to Phoenix, where we all assume he will sign an extension. I'm not sure why you're trading a 2033 unprotected pick to not eventually do that, but he's got 1 year left.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
I think the Hornets win this pick.
Yeah. Trade.
Trade,
Yeah.
excuse me. From the Suns' perspective, they get out of money. There's 2 years left on both Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal's contract. They're done with that.
So they get out of that money to then only give money to Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They have a lot of I definitely think the Charlotte Hornets win it. They have a lot of sort of in Phoenix, a lot of standard like average players. You know, they want to try and get a little bit better. And in theory, you know, as far as players go, getting Miles Bridges over Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal takes them there. But the Hornets got a better pick in this, the unprotected pick, while there's that they sent to Phoenix, some deal in here. That 2029 first-round pick that they sent to Phoenix is the least favorable of the Jazz, Timberwolves, or Cavaliers. So the pick that Charlotte gets, again, unprotected, way better. They get out of the guy that they didn't want in Bridges because they've moved on. They've gone to a different team. After LaMelo and Bridges, they've gone to this team. Look at this team that they have here. Kobe White, Concanipple, Brandon Miller, Naz Reid, and Moussa Diabate as your starters.
Sure.
Their bench now, Trey Mann, Sion James, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and then young guys like Kalkbrenner, Liam McNeely, and Hannes Steinbach that they just drafted. Pretty solid.
Solid.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of draft capital too.
It wouldn't be surprising if they're very, very similar to last year, even without LaMelo. They should be a 500 team. I mentioned all that because of their depth, you know, and it feels like it's more of a modern NBA team because you want to, you know, like the old Spurs, like the current Thunder, you want to roll out 10, 11, 12 guys. And this team was a really, really good regular season team, finishing at 44 and 38. I think they can get there again. I don't hesitate to say 44, but they got to be a 500 team. They should be.
I think what happened here is the Hornets lined up their best players and they realized we're going to have to pay Miles Bridges with a new contract here soon, and LaMelo with the new extension that obviously is around $120 million. And they were like, F that. We'd rather go with Concanipple and Brandon Miller as our best players and the framework to build this team around. And I think they made the right decision here. We'll see. I mean, they just had a great year. Like, again, they didn't make the playoffs, but a really good year for them. But that's what they're doing here. They're like, we don't want to have to pay those guys. And then, look, we don't need to like dance around the situation here with Miles Bridges either. The guy missed significant time when he faced domestic violence and child abuse charges in 2022. He pleaded no contest to felony domestic violence. I mean, he assaulted his girlfriend in front of like 2 children. There was another incident as well. He did something reprehensible. He was punished both criminally. I mean, he had probation. He didn't go to jail. And then by the league, right? He missed an entire season because of this. And then I guess he missed another, was it 10 games that rolled over into the next season? Because they gave him like a 30-game suspension, but they were like, well, you missed an entire season. We'll count that as 20 games. And then it was another 10 games the next year. Point is, it's like up to you whether you think he deserves a second, third chance or whatever here and how you feel about it. I know there are a lot of Suns fans going, what? Why did we trade for this piece of shit? That's how they feel. Not everybody does. Again, people make mistakes. This is one of the worst I think you can make, whether you're fine with it. But then you can do what about this guy with a lot of guys in this league and owners, by the way. So that's up to you. But I would not be happy if I'm a Phoenix Suns fan.
Oh, you say
Also, he's not very good either. That's the other problem.
Yeah, he's an up basketball wise. He's an upgrade on Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. That being said, you know, he said one of the worst things you can do. Yeah, it was a disgusting act back then. It took the NBA, if I'm not mistaken, a while to enforce that suspension. It was we're waiting, and it sure feels like the Hornets are just moving on from him and from LaMelo Ball, as you said, who was signed to 2 more years. LaMelo had a contract, and so it wasn't soon. It wasn't as soon as Miles.
But extension
Bridges.
Eligible though is the problem here,
right?
Just like Bridges will be.
Yeah, 3. Excuse me, LaMelo's got 3 years left.
Right.
So it's different. They wanted to move on from Miles Bridges. This is a different.
And the Suns have wanted this guy for a couple of years. It sounds like, and why? They love guys that went to Michigan State.
Oh, right.
They got their owner, Matt Ishbia, their coach, Jordan Knott, their general manager, Brian Gregory. They all spent years at Michigan State.
Yeah.
So there's a part of that, I think, here with Miles Bridges and their infatuation with him.
That's true.
This team, I thought they made some nice moves. We debated, they're just running it back, but this was not a very good trade, I do not think.
No.
At all. As I don't think it moves the needle all that much in the Western Conference, and you're just going to be paying them. And this pick, yeah.
Yeah, you traded a better pick.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. Totally what you said was, when you said they're going to run it back, yeah, that's exactly the way it looked. But now, a locker room that excelled, you bring in this new part instead of Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. You take a downfall on the draft pick as well. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Now, they may not be done. There's a lot of Jaylen Green trade rumors. That's a potential, maybe, Jamal Morant landing spot.
Phoenix?
Could be. You could get there with Jaylen Green and Jamal Morant being swapped if Grizzlies are that desperate to get out of the Jamal Morant business, then maybe. But this team around Booker, I just don't know really what they're doing. There's not a lot of playmaking around him. There's not a lot of shooting around him. Some of your best shooters are now gone, and the Hornets had them. There's one thing they did here. I saw Hollinger note this. The Suns can now trade the 2028 first-round pick that they've already swapped twice, and it's the least valuable of Brooklyn, Philadelphia, and Washington. So that pick and then a bunch of second-rounders are all the picks they can trade moving forward here till up till 2033. So maybe they're not done, but this is adding Miles Bridges to your team and then having to pay him, which they will.
Yeah, that's the mistake. Because the Suns made a mistake here because, they may have said, let's do something in terms of an upgrade in their eyes to get better here because we had our good season. Are we just going to run it back? And maybe there was a little itch they had to scratch there, but it's totally a mistake because you've got this steady team. Everything's cooking. And you've got money coming off the books next year in Dillon Brooks, who you may want to bring back. But
they might sign him to an extension, though, too.
Yeah, and the problem is after that, now if you're going to have to re-sign Miles Bridges after letting go, waiving Bradley Beal, even Nasir Little, that costs you money on the books for years and years. So I feel like this is just scratching an itch that didn't need to be scratched. And now you're going to end up with what you had looking forward to this season with, we're bringing the same thing. You're going to do that in year 27, 28, 28, and 29, where you're going to be having Booker and Miles Bridges as your 2 highest paid guys. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I think it's a bit of a step back.
And they've got, they do have some younger talent that you also wonder if it's being sort of obviously pushed down the pecking order here when you make a move like this. They seem high on Fleming. And there's Malawach as obviously their center, very raw center. Their starting lineup right now would be Booker, Green, Brooks, if he's there, Dillon Brooks, Miles Bridges at the 4,
Mark
Williams. That does not excite me all that much, really.
Yeah. Again, I do think it is a bit of an upgrade, though. I don't want to. I think it's a bad move long term. Short term, him instead of Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. But in a locker room, you're messing things, you're changing things, and then you're handcuffing yourself for years, most likely after you sign Miles Bridges. What's
he going to get? He's going to be eligible for an extension. It's 3 years, $89 million, 3 years, $90 million.
About that. Yeah, probably that.
About that.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hear your thoughts on that trade. That was the one trade that went down this weekend. Well, actually, one of 2. We'll get to the other minor one in a second here. But Isaiah Hartenstein and the Thunder agreed to a 3-year, $75 million contract extension. Tas, your thoughts here on Hartenstein this extension, dropping his salary by about $5 million for the coming season. So it's helping the Thunder maybe try and get under the second apron. Still have moves to make if they want to do that.
Good for the Thunder to bring it back. They needed him in the middle. Simple as that. Chet was not excellent in the playoffs, but besides that, I mean, besides Chet against Wemby, they needed to bring back the same starting lineup as they always do. Good for them. They've got 3 guys that are signed for 4 years in Shea, Jalen Williams, and Chet. They've got 2 guys for 3 years, the Hartenstein contract and Caruso. Today, they got to decide on Dort's team option. And then beyond that, it's Case and Wallace, the other Jalen Williams, Jared McCain, AJ Mitchell, Adai Mara, Nikola Topic, and Thomas Sorber. Here they are. They're coming back. And they have to. They had to do that. I think Hartenstein is a bit of their glue. Things are looking good there.
They still can get under the second apron by declining Dort's team option or by picking it up and trading him. Dort's in a lot of like Lakers trade rumors here right now. Hollinger says another option is they could trade recent draft picks in Topic and Sorber and decline Kenrich Williams' team option, and you can get under the second apron that way as well. But the long and short of it is what looked like it was going to be an insane tax bill. They've done pretty good work here. I say good work. They had to trade good players, but look, you're a good team and you got a lot of them. Getting like whatever second round picks back for Wiggins, and then we'll get to Joe in a second here. But you got to do that if you want to keep your top end talent together and try and stay on the second apron so you can make moves as you move forward here. So yeah, this is good work. And you're right. He's important. He showed that he was extremely important to their success over this last couple of years since they got him. So, and they get him on a pretty good deal. I mean, he honestly is almost doing them a favor here. I think he is doing them a favor. I think he's actually worth more on the market than this, but maybe
think so.
Loves it there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they did him. They paid high when they got him from the Knicks. In comparison, like he didn't play that type of role, but here he's excelling well. And you know, by some reports, it's hard to know what's real on the internet. Kenrich Williams' team option was declined, you know, a week ago. We were on here.
Oh, was it? Okay.
But I don't think that's completely confirmed. But all around, we were here at the desk when that happened. The rumor said that, but TBD.
Not official.
Not official, no.
The Pistons landed sharpshooter Isaiah Joe. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Well, you went to Detroit. And that was a trade, obviously, with the Thunder. So your thoughts on Isaiah Joe, excuse me, going to Detroit?
Yeah, the Thunder, obviously from their perspective, hey, got to cut this guy. The Detroit Pistons, they needed a shooter. And so he comes off the bench. They have such an interesting offseason because what is this team going to become? Kevin Huerter's a free agent. So you think, okay, Isaiah Joe basically took his spot. Kevin Huerter experiment never really worked out. Tobias Harris also a free agent. Isaiah Stewart was traded away. They've got team options on Dennis Jenkins, Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser, and the Asar Thompson team option extension eligible. So that's interesting there. It's a good addition, but they got to get better, even better than what this is. They have so much money available because Asar Thompson not paid a lot. The Jalen Duren extension, which is still bound to happen here, they can bring in a lot of parts to replace either Tobias Harris or just bring on somebody who can score.
Or Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
If he's not there.
So this is Duncan. Is Duncan under contract? I thought he was.
Yeah, but there's rumors that he could be squeezed here, but we'll see. I mean, look, I'm with you that they were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. And they added one of the better guys, especially in a bench role, in Isaiah Joe. That's one thing this guy can do, and he does it well. Hit 2.5 threes in just under 21 minutes per game. He's a career 41% three-point shooter. And again, the Pistons, they had Duncan Robinson and they had Cade Cunningham. And like outside of that, nobody was like a high-volume three-point shooter. Because guess what happened? One of their guys, he got caught up in illegal gambling activity in Malik Beasley. I mean, this guy was awesome for them, and then suddenly was not allowed to play in the league. We learned more about that too. Malik Beasley has been indicted on federal charges for gambling related to a sports betting scheme, such as point shaving and prop bets. This is what his attorney was telling Shams here this morning. So the government is coordinating a voluntary surrender of Beasley this week. So this sort of all goes together here because Beasley was an important piece and a three-point shooter, and then he was gone, and we saw like, oh man, they need a high-volume three-point shooter, so they're trying to get one here in Joe. And a good job for only two second-round picks.
Yeah, and Malik Beasley was about to sign a big contract right before that. So unfortunate news there. And the Pistons are looking to fix things up. When Malik Beasley didn't come back, they also went and signed Karis LeVert sort of as their playmaker, kind of replacing Dennis Schroeder there. That hasn't worked out all that well. They made the Jaden Ivey trade to go get Kevin Huerter. That hasn't worked out extremely well. So, yeah, this is an interesting time.
Will you be happy if this is sort of all the Pistons do, so to speak, this offseason? Like they bring back Jalen Brown on whatever contract they agree to. They make this move for Isaiah Joe. Let's say, Tobias Harris or Duncan Robinson, one of them still there. Like if that's sort of it, you don't love it. You want more shooting, more playmaking. Because that's what Isaiah Joe doesn't do that.
No, he does not.
I mean, I don't think he can do that.
No.
Maybe he gets more of an opportunity to do it, but that guy's just a shooter. He's a play finisher, not a play starter.
Yeah, he's not much of a driver. That's why the Thunder said, we can let go of you. Jared McCain essentially took Isaiah Joe's spot. What a great pickup that was, because that guy can drive. Mm-hmm. They trade away Aaron Wiggins. While the Pistons, I think if right now, if they're desperate, they bring back Tobias Harris, but their starting lineup is essentially the same, and they let go Isaiah Stewart, and they bring in Isaiah Joe. I think I'm taking the Miami Heat in a series over them. Maybe I'm just a recency bias type of guy, but I think the Pistons will still be good in the regular season like they were. But when it comes to the playoffs, I'm banking on Giannis being able in a healthy team. Yeah, he's got to be healthy. If they're healthy against the Detroit Pistons, they need scorers.
Well, it's funny you brought up that team because Norman Powell could be on one of those two teams. Yeah. Does he stay with Miami, or is he's one that's been linked as a sort of obviously a guy that can score to Detroit? Yeah.
But then you're taking a risk. Norman Powell over Tobias Harris, that's a risk because Tobias is a free agent. Would you rather have Norman Powell, who's injured, a great player, but he can't do it for 6 months, I don't think. So that's a question. Yeah, it is unfortunate here. The Pistons they got parts moving here. I thought Andrew Wiggins would be the guy, and hopefully he would be back to old DeAndre or Andrew Wiggins. But it's like that was my bar. They need a score. Somebody.
I mean, they should go all in on Trey Murphy. That's the team. It should be like they should push all their chips in, draft capital in. Yeah, he'd be awesome, I think, for them.
Yeah, and they're pushing. I'm sure they're trying to get somebody, I imagine.
Other minor NBA transaction news here. A lot of option stuff here, so we'll go at these one at a time. Rockets guard Fred VanVleet opting into his $25 million player option for the 26-27 season Tas. So VanVleet on the books. Houston has about $20 million here to re-sign Tari Eason and fill out the rest of the roster before reaching the first apron. But were you shocked at all by Freddie picking up the option here? Just $25 million.
Fred wants to be a starting point guard with Kevin Durant beside him coming on back. That was a good contract that they signed him to before 25-26, I should say. 2 years, $50 million. And listen, I tuned in to Unguarded by Fred VanVleet in his podcast. I thought, okay, maybe he's coming back. But he did not. And so he just wants to come back. Good for him. Good for the Rockets.
Kings guard Zach LaVine, also, you won't believe this, opting into his $49 million player option. Yeah. He was going to always be picking that one up.
Kangs be the Kangs. It's the same team they're bringing back, right?
With obviously a cuff, their future, hopefully.
Right.
And still figuring out what to do with DeRozan and maybe Sabonis. And, of
DeAndre
course, Zach
Hunter.
Also,
they're paying a lot of guys, and Keegan Murray, and Malik Monk. They're numbers wise, I'm not the salary numbers guys, but they're already paying $200 million to players, and they're going to be stanky again.
Okay. James Harden is declining his $42.3 million player option for next season, but he and the Cavs are working together on a new deal. We had expected this. We had talked about this. I think they're thinking the yearly salary will drop to around the $28 to $30 million range, be it 2 or 3 years. I don't know, player option or something like that. I think that's where they'll probably come together on. If I'm a betting man, excuse me.
Sure. It seems like they made the trade 4 months ago. The plan was to keep James Harden around.
Yeah.
And so they're going to come to that deal, and hopefully he can buy a safe storage for his weapon Did you see the misdemeanor charge that he was hit?
That was
recently. Yes. In Houston. Kind of flew under the radar. He was in Houston. And misdemeanor charge of unlawful carrying of a weapon in a motor vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
All these guys that get traded, what we're seeing here is like 99% of the time the extension is going to be signed. New contract's going to be signed because they've talked about it in advance with their agents. The new team acquiring said player at trade. Do you know what I mean?
Especially if you're
so many of these. Especially
if your year is done months later. You know what I mean? If your contract is done. Like Anthony Davis was rumored to be extended or going to be extended by the Washington Wizards. That hasn't happened.
That's true.
But he has a full year guaranteed after that. Harden makes sense.
Couple other ones just breaking right now. Shams says DeAndre Ayton is opting into his $8.1 million player option with the Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers were looking to get Isaiah Stewart, but they were beat by the Memphis Grizzlies, who had second-round picks to give to Detroit. And so this is a separate deal, but DeAndre Ayton coming back after having a good year. Was he going to get more money elsewhere as a free agent? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, he was solid last year.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, he was solid.
Well, another center, net center Day'Ron Sharpe, intends to sign a new 2-year, $20 million deal to return to the Brooklyn Nets. So, they made the move to get off of Nick Claxton, and we said that they believe Sharpe is their center here. So he gets a very affordable, I think, a team option there, too. Oh, no, Nets declined Sharpe's team option to do the new contract. There you go.
Yeah, we'll see if he can grow as a player. Yeah.
That's how we got there. You're not the biggest fan?
We'll see if he can grow. It's fine. Yeah. He's got to get better.
Mamu, Raptors big man, declining his $2.8 million player option. He's going to test free agency here. So him and his agency, I think it's Priority Sports, they're like, oh yeah. There's like suddenly like this strong developing market for Mamu where a lot of teams are like, oh, we could use a guy like that. And after we saw, he had a really good start to the Raptors. I think it sort of trailed off as the season went on, but good for him. I think he's timing this well here.
Yeah, right? An undersized backup center seemingly has become more prominent in the NBA, but he lost his job when Colin Murray-Boyles was better in the playoffs. So he should go get his money. DeAndre Ayton, I think, should have gone and gotten his money. I think he could have got paid more. But congratulations, as you said, Priority Sports, Mark Bartelstein, and George.
It's Bartelstein season, baby.
And George Rousakis, a Greek.
Wow.
It sure feels like. As the agents, when you get a double agent mentioned,
oh god,
sometimes a triple agent. These guys have so many agents.
Yeah, it's the Shams way of breaking the news is a little eye rolling at times. What was the one that was something came through over the weekend and people were like, "Oh, I think it was the Hartenstein." Did you see how that one was worded? It was batshit crazy how he worded it. Because it was like, get to the point. What is the deal? But it was like, he has now made in his 125 million. Like, it was so convoluted, and it was obviously like the agents gave it to him. Like, that's his tie to all these things and how he gets all this news. I get it. You got to play the game, but I don't know, man. Just tell us what the hell it was. That one was infuriating.
This is the one you're talking about. Yeah. Just in. Oklahoma City's Isaiah Hartenstein intends to sign a new 3-year contract to return to the Thunder through 28-29. That brings his total earnings with the franchise at 5 years and $134 million guaranteed. Yeah. Sources tell ESPN.
What a weird way
signing
to put
in
it.
2024, leading to the 2025. I do like though that the agent mention comes in a second tweet quite often.
Well, not all the time.
Then the second tweet comes in. Hartenstein and his reps, Andrew Morrison and Aaron Mintz of CAA Sports.
Oh,
blah,
great.
Blah, 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 blah.
Great.
So sometimes you got to click the more. Like I didn't even finish reading, leading to the 2025 championship Thunder lock in the defensive anchor. Cool.
He always adds a little flavor there. Again, whatever the agent said to like spruce this up a little bit, make it sound great. Jose Alvarado returning to the Knicks on a new 3-year, $14 million-ish deal. The Celtics are re-signing Ron Harper Jr. to a 3-year, $9 million deal. The Wolves are keeping Jalen Clark on a 3-year, $10 million deal. I got a few others. Anything related to those three?
Well, the Knicks side with Alvarado coming back, the interesting part is, are they bringing the team back? Alvarado back, good deal. But James Dolan was on the Carton show And he said that I can't go into the second apron. It's suicidal. And so does that mean Mitchell Robinson is too expensive to come back and Landry Shamet is too expensive to come back? Those two alongside with Jose Alvarado, those were the three parts we were watching.
Right. So one done, but what about the other two?
Yep.
Yeah. The Orlando Magic waived forward Jonathan Isaac on Saturday.
Isaac.
Remember him?
It's all done.
Yeah.
That was this is getting into the weeds, getting a little geeky here, but
sure.
$8 million partially guaranteed on the books for next season that they have to pay.
Right.
That's being paid. And in March, they pushed back the fully guaranteed number of $14.5 million for 26-27 back to June 28th instead of 52 games, which he eventually got to. So that money was not paid in the end. He missed out on $6.5 million. Yeah, that's just some geeky number stuff. But it's feels like it's over for Jonathan Isaac as a
over.
He was injured to finish the season. And so,
yes.
over in terms of...
elite defensive players still.
Yeah.
But that's
basically
it.
Yeah. This is to save money. But it just feels like it's over in terms of Jonathan Isaac at the full possibility that we're all sort of watching. Or yes, great defensive player. So why isn't he hasn't been able to play. And the Orlando Magic didn't unleash him because he wasn't able to stick on the floor for many minutes. So that's what's over. And he's done in Orlando, who have to save money because of all these contracts that they've got out to Bane and Franz and Banchero.
So this is, he only played for the Orlando Magic. I would get ready to see Jonathan Isaac bouncing around the NBA here for the next second part of his career.
Older than I thought.
He's 28, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, nearly 29. He'll be 29 by the start of next season. So, a little older than I thought, too. Missed 2 years.
2 full seasons.
Yeah. So, I have a feeling he's going to be one of these guys that's just going to be on a lot of rosters here moving forward. There'll be there's a need. He's obviously a defensive-minded guy. Incredible timing and length and all that. But, he's a liability on the offensive end. And then final piece of news here. The Hawks are also guaranteeing Buddy Hield's $9.65 million salary for this coming season. This is a little perplexing because he was not played at all after they acquired him, basically, from Golden State at the trade deadline. So a lot of people are going, is there a trade coming from the Hawks here? This is why you sort of, guarantee this money, basically $10 million, let's call it, because he could be rerouted in a trade. And that's $10 million you can use to obviously match salary and stuff like that. So a lot of people are wondering, are the Hawks not done? What do they got up their sleeve here?
Yeah, the best.
It's a little odd.
It is odd.
It's odd.
It's surprising. Yeah, the best thing he did as an Atlanta Hawk was shoot that one game. It was the 82nd game of the season. He shot 18 times, 31 points. He was on fire at 7 threes. Other than that, it is surprising that he would be coming back.
Buddy Hield's great for vibes.
Yeah.
He's not a vibe killer.
No.
I think that's good. But to pay him and Corey Kispert, a combined, what would it be? $24 million or something? That seems batshit crazy. Why? You're not going to keep both of them, let alone one of them. So
that's a good point about the Corey Kispert. Making $14 million next year.
Yes. Okay. So it is.
Yeah. It's questionable what they're going to do. And this may have already happened if you're listening to the podcast, but they still have to decide on Jonathan Kuminga's team option.
Right.
That's a very interesting number at $24 million. So what are they doing otherwise? Are we looking like the same team going forward here? Because they still lack size. Full stop. I'm done talking. Look, Jalen Johnson, again, Onyeka Okongwu coming back. They need to get a little bigger. Zubi Ejiofor is going to be fun to watch as a backup center. We'll see what he can do. He could be awesome. But they definitely need some size.
Okay. Well, let's call it there. The only thing else I had in my notes is that the Heat have their eye on Mike Conley and Tim Hardaway. Possibility. They're obviously got to fill out the rest of their roster. Could see both those guys making some sense and being affordable enough. And the Spurs have their eye on Rui Hachimura and John Collins. It does feel like to me, John Collins at one point will be on the San Antonio Spurs. I don't know why. Just I can picture it, I can see it, and it makes sense to me. But
I hear you.
Maybe if I don't know, if they strike out on a potential Kawhi Leonard sort of deal, they pivot to something much more affordable with one of those guys. That's all I got for you right now, though.
Yeah, John Collins. if it's on the Spurs, he would take their Harrison Barnes role.
Totally.
But he would be getting a huge pay cut, it seems like, at this point of his career. Things were flying with the Atlanta Hawks.
Was that an aviation joke from the dunk contest?
Good one. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But yeah, that was an unfortunate. He wasn't flying there.
No, he wasn't.
He kicked that thing. But it's 9 years for him, and he feels young enough to get a good contract. So I don't know if the Spurs would be, at this time, able to give him enough, because I think he'd get outbid by somebody, or they would get outbid by somebody.
Well, maybe we'll learn tomorrow where John Collins lands.
John Collins goes.
Because we're going to call it here for now. We did a lot of slop, a lot of transactions. Thanks for joining us live on YouTube. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, share the show, 5-star ratings and reviews. Everybody knows the drill by now. Here's the plan. Unless there's an emergency podcast, I am still 100% convinced Jaylen Brown is getting traded at some point. If that happens, we'll do an emergency podcast. Otherwise, tomorrow, Tuesday, June 30th, yep, that's correct, we're going to be here at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So no morning show. Instead, we'll go right up against the official start of free agency. Though it's so funny now with all these, a lot of these, deals can be agreed to if you're on your own team, right?
Yeah.
So we'll go live at 5:30. We'll do the podcast as the news, or hopefully continues to trickle in. Maybe some big things happen. So we'll do an hour and a half, whatever. And then we'll be back on Wednesday to do more of a recap, because a lot of other stuff happens that night and stuff like that. It's the start of free agency. It's not like it only happens in that next 6-hour window, right? Who knows what to expect is what I'm getting at here. TK should be here, though, and we'll go over everything.
Yeah, we could have a trade happen as we drive home. As DJ Gary Oak says in the stream team, Kawhi is going to get traded on their drive home. That warrants an emergency podcast.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's say Jaylen Brown, 100%.
Of course.
Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah.
John Morant?
Yes. Yes, because it's probably going to be a good team that takes a chance. So we could be talking about John on the Heat.
LeBron to the Warriors?
Oh, yeah. It's LeBron.
Anthony Davis trade, probably.
Anthony Davis.
Uh-oh.
Did he give us
You're wavering a little bit.
Well, I just want to know if he gave us an emergency trade podcast in February, right? I'm just trying to think back. Is he going to give us 2 emergency podcasts in 4 months? I think he did when he was traded to the Wizards. That's all. That's my only point. What do you think? AD? Wizards legend AD, as ML Doomsday says here on the stream team?
I don't know. Well, this Warriors angle is crazy to me, but also very exciting. So I want it to happen.
LeBron was awesome last year, so he warrants it. He warrants one. But does AD? That's the question. Or we just lump them. Yeah. If it happens, anyway.
It feels like it's like a joint collaboration here. If I don't know, one goes to them, maybe the other's going too. LeBron and AD, I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's different. When you said that, I'm thinking, they're both going to sign there as free agents. LeBron's going to take less money, but Anthony Davis has to be a trade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it is a collab.
I'll just tell you this. If John Collins gets traded, we're not doing an emergency podcast. Okay?
Well, he's a free agent, so he's not going to be signed. Or he's not going to be traded, I should say. So what if he gets signed?
Can't be a sign and trade?
Yeah, I guess he can.
I don't know.
What about if he's a free agent? Sorry, John.
No, we'll just talk about it tomorrow. Join us, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, we're ready for emergency podcasts. Although when Birdo Eats on the stream team says, wait, ! It ain't happening. I ain't waiting. Birdo Eats, we're out of here. There hasn't been one that has happened, but you can't fool me, Birdo.
Josh Minot.
Oh, Josh.
Sign with the Nets, 2 years, $9 million.
Why not? Let's do it right now.
Russell Westbrook, why not? All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon or with an emergency podcast. Brace the day, people.